Hello, this video is about using the school blog that is on the system. And in this video, part 1, we'll talk about blog roles and how to create a student blog post. So let's start with talking about blog roles. One important role is called the contributor role. And contributors are special students that are selected to write articles to be put on the blog that can be viewed by all students and teachers in the school. To do this, these selected students will log into the school blog using a contributor account, and they will create blog posts. And that's what we'll talk about in this video. Another important role, though, is the editor role. Student blog posts do not appear in the blog until they have been approved by a teacher who serves as the editor. So each school must identify a teacher who will be the editor for the school blog. This teacher must log in to the school blog with the editor account to review and approve the student work. Another role is called the administrator, and this is one person who administrates the blog. They can add new accounts and they can manage other functions of the blog. And there is a special administrator account for this, and this role should be done by the overall IT teacher who is the system administrator. So we have the contributor, the editor, and the administrator. But anyone can write a comment on a blog post. However, just like blog posts, they will not show up until they have been reviewed and approved by the editor. So the editor will control whatever content shows up on the school blog. A school blog is an excellent way to give students the opportunity to write and post things that can be seen by others. It's a public way of sharing their writing skills. So let's get started now with talking about how a student can add a post to the blog. First of all, we're going to open up the school blog. The school blog is located in the Chromium web browser. The easiest way to open the Chromium web browser is to come down to your toolbar down here and click once on the Chromium web browser icon, and that's a blue circle. So we'll click once with our left mouse button and we'll open up the Chromium web browser. Now sometimes the first time you open Chromium it can take some time. That's because for most computers the information to run the browser is being sent from the server to your computer. So if it doesn't open right away, just wait. When it opens, you'll see our school's home page, and you'll see an option here for the School Times blog. To open it, we'll just click once here. So it opens up our school blog, and I'm going to make this full screen so we can see more of the screen. To do that, I'll move my mouse button up here to the upper right hand corner where this small box is, and I'll click once on it with my left mouse button. So that maximizes my screen. The first thing that we need to do when creating a blog post as a student is to log in as a contributor using a contributor account. So to log in, we're going to move our mouse button over here to the left hand side and we're going to click Log In. We'll click on that once with our left mouse button, and it will ask for our username and our password. Now there are usernames and passwords both for the Philippines and for Tanzania. And I'm going to use the Philippines username and password. So one of the usernames is grade 9, and your IT teacher will be able to tell you the password for that user contributor account. So I type in the password and then I click log in. So what happens now is we have something called a dashboard, and this is the contributor dashboard. And now it's very easy. The student can come over here where it says quick press and begin to type. Now sometimes if the screen is not maximized, so let me minimize it again here, that quick press will be below. It will be at the bottom of your dashboard. So it will be either below or to the right. But the main thing you want to do is look for the word quick press, and then you can see where you will add the information. And we're going to go ahead and create a blog post. So I'm going to entitle this 2014 graduation. And I will say grade 10 students, please pick up your diplomas after the ceremony in the guidance office. So that's not too exciting of a post, but it gives us an example here. So what you really need to put in though is a title, which is a short description of what you're going to write, and then the content, which is where you write what you want to show in the blog post. Now you can also add something called a tag, and that gives just a way to search on the content. So we could put in a tag, say just for 2014. But you can put in other things too. And we're going to click Submit for Review. That's what we do when we're ready to send it to the teacher who's going to be the editor. And then the editor will review and approve the post. But you should know that the blog that's just been written will not be put onto the school blog until it is approved by the editor. So when we click for Submit for Review, you'll see at the top it says Post Submitted. Now you also see a button that says Edit Post. So if you wanted to change something, you could click that and make changes. But your post now has been submitted, and the student should ask the editor to review that post. So always make sure as a student, after you've contributed something, that you inform the editor that there's a post awaiting review. Now it's asked if I want Chromium to save my password, and I would just tell you to click the X here to close that. So now we've created a post, and when the student is finished, they can log out. To log out, we come up to where it says Howdy, Grade 9 Writer, and we hover our mouse over that. We put our mouse over that, and you'll see some new options that show up. And we're going to choose Log Out. And when I do that, I'm now logged out. Now what you can do is go back to our school blog by clicking the button down here where it says Back to Our School. And we click that, and we're back to the blog. Now you'll see that, like I mentioned, the blog has not shown up yet. It will only show up after the editor has reviewed and approved it. Now I want to talk about one more thing. At our schools, we know sometimes the electricity goes out, and so what I really recommend is that you prepare and save your blog post first using LibreOffice Writer. So create your post in LibreOffice, and then you can just copy and paste from Writer to the blog post box. So we're going to do an example of that. So I'm going to log in again, and this time I'm going to be the grade 10 writer. So I type in my username and my password, and I log in. Now I'm going to open a LibreOffice file that I've already created and copy and paste the information from that into my blog post here. So I don't have to type it. I don't have to worry about losing something I've prepared if the electricity goes out. So I'm going to open up LibreOffice by clicking the LibreOffice icon down here. And I'm going to open the file that I saved earlier. I created a blog post for athletic meet. So I just have a short blog post here. Students are preparing for the annual athletic meet and so on. So the student can type whatever they want into LibreOffice and save it. Now we're going to highlight that. I'm going to copy that. And now I'm going to go back to the content here, and I'm going to right click and paste as plain text. So I've just copied the information from LibreOffice, and now I don't have to worry about if the power went out right now. It would not be a problem because I already have my blog post saved in LibreOffice. And I'm going to add a title here. Oops. And I'm going to tag it with 2015. And I'm going to put a tag of athletics, and we'll submit for review. And I can see that the post has been submitted. And now, as a contributor, I come up, put my mouse where it says Howdy Grade 10 Writer, so the other options appear, and then log out. And I'll go back to our school. Now, one thing I want to mention, whenever you're in Chromium, if you get lost and you're not sure where you're at, you can always go back to our school's home page by clicking the house. And the house is up here in the upper left-hand corner, and I click the house. I can go back to the School Times blog. So that's the end of our process for creating student blogs using the contributor account. Thank you for listening.